First, a couple of things to clear up from today's program. You've got this ridiculous Baby Shark tune in my head, so thank you for that. It's making my eyeballs explode.
Baby Shark.
No, yeah, that one. So
Should we put up the filter with the Baby Shark?
No.
No, okay.
Yeah, of course not.
All right. Fair
So
enough.
there's that. The second thing is, I didn't have, he looks like the same soft mess as always to me. I didn't have the heart to tell him any different. He looked at me with such hope in his eyes when he said, "Hey, you just saw me change shirts. Do I look more sculpted?" It caught me off guard. I had to have Dan take his shirt off again because I obviously certainly wasn't really paying much attention to the first time that he changed. And then I may have embellished a little bit how different he looks. He looks like the same old soft hairy man to me that he always has, but just in an effort of full disclosure, I don't want the ladies out there just,
Twisted Steel and sex appeal. That's what I tell them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If steel grew hair, then perhaps that would be.
Emily asked, Jeff, were you really
I
valedictorian?
really was, and it really, really was a small school.
Yes.
But yes, I was. I was valedictorian.
The legend.
That's pretty good. I would like to think that this shows great humility on my part that you're just learning that.
Yeah.
Right?
I
literally, in my graduating class, I went to high school in Puerto Rico. And my graduating class, there was only I don't know for sure, 28 people maybe.
Yeah.
So it was a small.
Sounds like my mother's high school class of, 19.
Very small,
whatever.
but, we'll take it. Right? Got me some cash for college.
There you go. That's valedictorian?
Yeah.
That looks good on the college application.
It does. It got me into the University of Florida, prestigious, the Harvard of the South.
Yes, many call it that.
It's not hard to get into.
Speaking of Florida Gators and a Florida legend, you guys were accused of sort of applying the Steve Spurrier.
Yeah, that was Dan.
To all the
wasn't it? Yeah.
When speaking about the folk status of Gardner Minshew.
Well, Gardner Minshew is a Jaguars backup quarterback, and he's the backup because they released the other guys.
Yeah.
So Kessler's gone, but he's just he's a unique character, and he's got a. Get Smart John was geography my best subject. I don't know if they taught geography per se in high school. I think geography was a college course. I think geography is just part of social studies, wasn't it, in college?
I had geography.
In high school?
In high school.
I may have. High school, listen, I don't want to give myself...
I wasn't 4 hard years of geography.
That's a long time ago for me in high school,
yeah.
gang. I mean, we're talking a long time ago. Where were we?
You're talking about Gardner Minshew.
Yeah, and he's just become a folk hero. Well, he's got now his latest on Twitter or Instagram.
He tweeted out.
He must have gone offshore fishing, and he jumped into. They caught
Goliath groupers.
A big grouper, and
those things are huge.
He jumped in. Have you ever seen the video of the Goliath groupers that'll come up and eat a hammerhead shark?
Yeah,
I mean they get 10 times bigger than that one.
Yeah.
But he dove in, probably a 50, 60 pounder, was hanging onto its tail, and after he'd probably worn it out catching it. So, but the point is, Gardner Minshew is going to be very popular.
Yes.
And when the backup quarterback is very popular, it inevitably leads to some stupid Guggenisms as you go. So, and we were just kind of pointing out, well, this is what's going to happen. You pay Nick Foles all that money. He's going to get 2 possessions in the first game against the Ravens' top 5 defense, and the Jags aren't going to score. And then Minshew's going to come in and produce 30 points. And why did we sign Nick Foles? Gardner Minshew is enough.
Should we one of these games, Jeff, give Gardner Minshew a look against the ones just to see?
Correct. And then
that's coming.
Hick
sort of applied the Spurrier.
He did.
Dialect to it.
Correct. And Hick was of the point this is what's going to happen for us on Monday morning. Dan, I just wondering, why is Gardner Minshew playing more? Did you see what he did the other day? That's how the Spurrier came around. The All-Star game last night, ho-hum. Another American League win.
Sponsored by Ambien.
It's always, right, having a hard time sleeping? Just watch 5 minutes of the All-Star game. Is it a good game if you don't know who the MVP is?
That's a good question.
Right? I mean, did the game really have a turning point?
It's either a good game or a very bad game.
But you don't feel like there was an MVP in that game last night. You felt like you just got a bunch of equal performances. And I say this because listen, the one thing that I love about our industry versus news and pop culture is that it's pretty much you keep it real. We haven't gotten into all this hyper political correctness, this snowflake, everyone offended and everything. We haven't gotten there yet. So it bothered me that this participation trophy kind of mindset infiltrated the All-Star game last night, and they gave the All-Star MVP to an American League pitcher who pitched a 1, 2, 3 innings, struck out the side.
Sure, great.
Which is nice.
Right.
But the American League struck out 16 batters,
Right.
and they gave it to a guy who pitched the 5th inning for one reason and one reason only. He was a feel-good story from Cleveland, the
Right.
city that hosted the game.
Right.
So if you have two pitchers, you asked me, you have two pitchers. One of them has a 2-0 lead and pitches the 5th inning, and the other has a 4-3 lead in the 9th.
Yeah.
And they both strike out the side. Isn't the guy who holds it down the 4th in the 9th
I
inning
would
the
think
MVP?
so. I would think so.
I mean, it's not a big deal.
Right.
The bigger story is the Braves, clearly, I love their focus. They clearly didn't care at all about the All-Star
No.
game. I mean, getting hits or
No.
scoring runs, completely unimportant to both Ronald Acuna and Freddie. I'm not sure Acuna put the bat on the ball. I mean, he swung 6 times yesterday, but I'm not sure the bat even hit the ball for a foul ball for Acuna yesterday. So after I said that he should not have been batting 9th, I was right. He should have batted 11th.
James Taylor, wow.
That's
He's
an
seen
honor.
fire and he's seen rain. James Taylor says, how will the Jaguars do this year? And the Gators will win the SEC East.
Okay.
So is that a declaration about the Gators, James?
That's either a declaration or a question. I think that the Jaguars are hovering at 8-8. And if they do go better,
Right.
I hate to be this way. Look, there's a lot of years where I think they're hovering 6-10, and they may get to 8-8. This year, I think they're hovering 8-8. And they can get to 10. They can
Yeah.
go back to 6 if
Yeah.
it goes off. So
I think there's a plus or minus
that's where
2
I am
right
there.
out there.
They got a defense.
Yeah.
And if you have a defense, you should be in enough games to be a 500 team.
Right. They've got a defense and they've got a quarterback that you hope.
And Georgia's awful good, gang. I mean,
Yeah.
it will be an upset. Florida will not be the pick to win the East. SEC Media Days next week. Georgia will be the pick. Tennessee, Missouri, South Carolina, all programs. I'm not saying those teams have a better chance of winning the East than Florida. I don't think they do. But my point is the East is going to be a little tougher division this year.
Yeah.
And you're not going to stack wins unless you're a really good, solid top 10 team. And are we sure that's what Florida is? Are we positive? Because last year we thought that's what Florida was. They came in undefeated. They lost to Georgia, gave them a game, and then turned around and kind of went old school and got hammered by Missouri. So at home. So you can't. You're not catching Georgia if you do that. I mean, if you're going to lose to Georgia, you better not lose another one. And I think and plus Auburn comes from the West. In the West, they got to play Auburn and LSU. So we went through the schedule yesterday, and Florida's of their 12 games, 8 or 9 of them were against top 27 teams.
It's nice though that the East doesn't feel like a one-horse race.
I still think I got to be honest. I wouldn't call it one horse because I think Florida has a lot of returning talent. They've got some confidence, and
Right.
I think that this noise we perceive with the transfer portal and this. I would bet you a dime to a dollar that that's not felt inside the program.
Right.
I think they're probably still very optimistic, and productive and winning a year ago, the way they finished strong in the bowl game. I expect Florida to have a good year. I think they'll win 9 or 10 games. I do. Are they going to win the East? Georgia's going to have to lose a couple games.
Yeah, they need some.
And one of them will have to be to Florida.
Right.
So that's your best path to the East, if you're the Gators, is beating Georgia this year, because then you can even slip up somewhere else. And as long as you don't slip up again, you'll have the tiebreaker. But boy, to have LSU and Auburn, LSU on the road out of the West, and then an improved SEC East, it's going to be it's going to be tough.
Tough road to hoe.
Yeah.
All right, Googans. Tomorrow, Thursday program. Doc Kevin Murphy.
Go inside the injury report. Maybe Russell Westbrook will have a new home by tomorrow. One of a recent MVP in the NBA is going to get
both sides
shot.
are motivated to get him out of Oklahoma City.
Correct.
So
all right. Well,
we'll see. Until then, Googans.
And I will not shake.
All right. I won't either. Solidarity.